Hello everyone, my name is Rafiq Foster, doing writing, engineering, and engineering writing. I'm sure you guys read the text. It was about a study on a guy named John Phillips, PhD, mechanical engineer. He worked for his company for about 15 years, where he did a pretty good job at presentations and writing. His writing skills were very phenomenal. Here I'm going to discuss a few things that I thought were key. Engineering knowledge is difficult for engineers to see themselves as physically working directly on an object. The reason why is most engineers like to do hand-to-hand work. They like to have hands-on. They like to be out in the lab actually doing testing. Okay, lab results are turned into text, which then becomes engineering knowledge. Without the engineer going out to the lab doing the testing, he will not have results to turn into text. So once he gets this text, he will now gain his knowledge. Textual construction of knowledge is social in nature because each document must convince other people of its validity in order to be accepted as knowledge. Convincing people is pretty much the main purpose of the report. You want it to be valid, you want it to be sound, you want it to be very truthful. Alright, now the next key thing I thought was important was the writing language of engineering. We talked therefore of language, and particularly written language, as a tool for constructing ideas. So as an engineer, you construct a lot of ideas, you're jotting them down, you're making sure this may go here, you don't know what's going to work, you never know what's going to work until you do the testing. You know, knowledge is very important, and it continues on in a given field of knowledge being created by the interaction of practitioner tests and of knowledge itself, including scientific knowledge and rhetorically shaped. Science and engineering go hand in hand, math and engineering go hand in hand, and of course writing go hand in hand with engineering. Without writing, a lot of stuff will not be known. Reports and presentation, another big thing I thought was important. Technical reports are a summarized body of research which might have happened over a period of time, short as months or as long as 2 years. In a research and development department, just like John Phillips was in, research can take a long time. It can be very short, it can be very long, but once the research is done, then you could go into your development stages where you do the testing and see if the product will be a very good product to sell. Engineers think of themselves as gathering facts and information. So that's your research, gathering your information, making sure everything you have is down packed. You want to have all the research you can before you go into the field and actually do the testing. You don't want to have no mistakes. After your report, now you have your presentation. Here you are showcasing your knowledge to your colleagues. You are pretty much giving them everything that went on in the testing. Great presentations are key in giving out information, such as graphs, charts, pictures of setups, and tables of the results. So you're pretty much giving the customer, your colleagues, your manager, a visual of what went on during the process of the testing and development. So now writing the engineer. When it comes to writing a report, engineers has to figure out what makes sense, trying to not make it too complicated and confusing to understand. That's very important as an engineer. You don't want to be giving anybody a report that's very choppy, very all over the place. Everything must make sense. It must be structured. It must be very sound, it must be valid. A clear, sensible story. That's pretty much what you're telling, a story about what went on. Not only important, but because it will be easier for the readers to follow, it will also create the writer and the knowledge community here represented. So by making this easier to read, you are creating yourself as a good writer and a good component of your community, which is your engineering community. It will make them look at you very good. In order to be accepted as an engineer, he or she must write and speak in already created forms of tongues of engineering. So here you want to be very well versed in your communication engineering. You want to know all engineering terms that are necessary for this report, for this project. Throughout college, you're going to learn correct engineering language, and you're going to learn even more once you get in the field. While it is possible to say that engineers create themselves in text, it is also possible that they are created by the text available to them. So here, most engineers probably looked at something, read it, and they got ideas from the text that they read, which shaped their creativity in their writing. So you're pretty much borrowing from other writers. It's a normal thing to do. It kind of helps you understand your writing and helps others understand your writing. So my conclusion. This was a study done to show that engineering has a lot more to do with just engineering. As a result of choosing to be an engineer, writing is a big part of it. Technical writing is the most important part of writing as an engineer. You need to be able to write very technical. You need to be clear. You need to be thought out very well. Making sure you write good every time. You want to write good every time. So when you get a presentation or you are assigned an assignment, your boss will know that you're going to do good work. Also, knowledge is generated by the report. If it wasn't for you going out in the lab getting the results, the report would not be able to get finished. Doing a good job on the report is very key. That's all for this presentation. I have one more slide, and it's my question to you. We all know that engineers must have strong writing and speaking skills, along with great knowledge of what it takes to be an engineer. We have new graduate engineers coming into the field yearly. Do you recommend this article to them on their first project lead if you work with them? How do you make an engineer become a better engineer? Thanks, guys. Give me good feedback. Look to hear from you soon.